Coming up on Mountain News this morning, in a rare move, the Hazard Independent School District has chosen to close for the rest of the week due to illness sweeping through the student body. And we take you to Clay County, where one community is being overrun by birds and is now sounding the alarms to find a solution. And we'll show you the man who is doing work with the Kentucky Reptile Zoo to help snakebite victims in India.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 4:59 on February 27th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning on this Thursday. You're almost to the end of the week. But first, when we wake up, you might see a little snow out there. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, there was just coming through 15, a thin layer, slush, snow.
Well, it's a little bit worse in some locations this morning. I was coming through Knott County and had snow on 15. So depending on where you are, roads and bridges are slick this morning. Be careful of that. Slick spots across the region. The further north you go, probably the less amounts of that. But still, just be careful. Higher locations, higher elevations, got an inch or two there. And we're going to show you some of those cameras here in a little bit. But just take it easy. Take it slow this morning. Still snowing in some areas, but you see already back into central Kentucky, it's starting to taper off. So that's some good news this morning. We take a look and we'll take a look at visibility. Some of the heavier bands are causing some visibility issues, so keep that in mind as well. Anything less than 5 miles is limited visibility. They expanded the winter weather advisory to 2 more counties in Virginia in about 4 o'clock this morning. They're Dickinson and Buchanan now under that until 10 o'clock this morning. That includes Wise County as well. So the Virginia counties until 10, the Kentucky counties of Harlan and Letcher until 7. Temperatures in the 20s and low 30s this morning. And when you factor in the wind chill, it feels like the teens in some locations. Out the door forecast, snow chances early, then clearing skies as we head toward the afternoon, and temperatures only top out in the upper 30s today, so much colder as we get closer to the end of the week and the end of the month. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, the Hazard Independent School District rarely cancel classes, but this week, school officials say sickness numbers have forced them to do just that. School officials say they noticed attendance numbers have dropped well below their goals.
Attendance has been very, very low the last couple of days, and it dropped way below the 90% that we try to aim for.
In response to these numbers, the decision was made to close the schools through the rest of the week. The superintendent says the district will use the time off to clean surfaces throughout schools and to give students time to get better. And as February soon comes to a close, American Heart Month wraps up, but people at ARH Cardiac Rehab continue to strive for better heart health. There are 2 phases for patients, and Larcena Evans is a registered nurse in the rehab, and she sees how it can help people firsthand.
So from personal experience, my husband had open heart surgery, and he did this cardiac rehab program. It helped him tremendously, really it did.
Patients can visit cardio rehab every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, a group of women in recovery were recognized for their hard work in Benham yesterday. Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins, along with Hunt Brothers District Manager Tim Fields and Addiction Recovery Centers, recognized the work going on at Lydia's House, a recovery center for women in Letcher County. This recognition is a nod to the dedication these women have made to become clean.
That truly means a lot because a lot of good things go unnoticed, and I think it's wonderful that people are paying attention, people are noticing the difference that we're making. We want the people to be aware that there is recovery and there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there are different steps you can take to reach the recovery, and it's possible and it's very real.
Now, Hunt Brothers donated all the pizza and wants the women at Lydia's House to know they support their journey 100%. In Kentucky, Republicans are criticizing a photo of Governor Andy Beshear taken at an LGBTQ rally. That's according to the Lexington Herald Leader. The photo shows the governor standing with 4 drag queens. State Senator Philip Wheeler of Pikeville criticized Governor Beshear, saying the Democratic Party is, quote, corrupting the values of our children, unquote. A Beshear spokesman fired back at Senator Wheeler, saying, quote, attacking the governor for taking a photo with a Kentucky citizen is shameful. They go on to say the governor is, quote, is working every day to end the hateful and divisive politics that try to pit people against each other, end quote. US 119 in Letcher County on Pine Mountain reopened just before 2 p.m. yesterday. Highway District 12's contractors drilling railroad steel as part of an embankment failure and the drilling rig broke down. Both north and southbound lanes were closed and traffic was redirected. The work does continue as one of the lane traffic is directed by flaggers. Officials ask that you continue to use caution when driving in that area. And there is a bird problem so bad in one area of Clay County that officials are sounding the alarm literally. Now, blackbirds roosting on Courthouse Hill in the city of Manchester have aggravated people since fall. They make a lot of noise and leave behind quite the mess. Per request of the Clay County Cooperative Extension Service, the county's ambulance service will be running their sirens for about 2 to 3 minutes at about 6 tonight in order to scare the birds off.
When they just start swarming in the whole neighborhood and just groves of them. They would even remind you of the Alfred Hitchcock movie, Birds. I think we have more than they ever had in their movie.
The birds are typically out at about 6 at night and leave in the early morning. The local health department is also helping efforts to drive the birds away. And known across the United States for their work in humanly extracting snake venom, an Indian businessman is in the mountains to visit the Kentucky Reptile Zoo. The World Health Organization reports India is one of the leading countries for snakebite-related deaths and injuries. Because of this, Sauruv Ray came over on behalf of his company to learn extracting methods. Along with that, Ray is also learning how the Reptile Zoo is able to keep the roughly 1,600 snakes stress-free and safe.
Keeping a large number of animals has a lot of the same concerns, no matter what kind of animal it is. Whether you're keeping a large number of chickens or a large number of snakes, there's still things like disease control that you have to think about.
Ray expects to stay through another week before heading back to India to continue expanding their operation to keep people safe in their country. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, we'll tell you how a teenager in Texas accidentally sent a child to the hospital while taking selfies.
We had some snow in the higher elevations overnight. Had some snow everywhere overnight, but some slick spots are possible on the roads early this morning. I'll have more on our next chance for winter weather in about 3 minutes.